How far are we
from fuel cells?
See, fuel cells are available. So there are two parts of it. First of all, you need green electricity, solar and wind-based electricity is certainly. You then need to convert into hydrogen. Electrolyzers are now getting made. The best electrolyzer that we have seen today gives you hydrogen at a total cost of $3 per kg. Now, by next year, companies like Onion are promising to get it to $2 per kg. But my worry is about this $2 per kg. The cost is taking into account the European and American interest cost of 3 to 4%, not the 10-11% that is given in India. So $3, $2 may not be 200 rupees, finally it will be 300 rupees. So we have to worry about it. So that will give you green hydrogen. But then what do you have to do with green hydrogen? If you want to use electric vehicle, first you have to compress it. And the compression results in a lot of losses. And then you have to transport the green hydrogen to some equivalent of petrol, hydrogen pumps. And that also will take a lot of energy. So finally a liquid hydrogen or a compressed hydrogen will be available at petrol pumps. And then you need to put it into vehicles, which probably they can load it. Then you need a fuel cell. The final thing, they will convert it back to electricity. And today the fuel cells are available, except they are expensive. My own estimate, and this is an estimate, if you take today's electrolyzer, compression, transport, and today's fuel cell with Indian interest rate of 10%, the total cost of electricity will be 100 rupees per kilowatt. Put a battery and put it inside the battery, it will become 10 rupees per kilowatt. But hydrogen today, where is it going to go? My feeling is 30 to 35 rupees per kilowatt hour will probably get invested.
Okay, this is a follow-up.
But if this will then compete with petrol, but still very expensive batteries compared to that. So that's a technology question, and I'll give you the answer to the next one. Yes.
The opposite country coming from the region. My question is related
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, the report says that South India leads the EV sales in the country. How are we on the safety aspect of it, sir?
How are we?
Safety aspect of EV.
I'm scared that vehicles are very safe. I mean, accidents can happen, problems can take place with petrol. Remember, petrol vehicles are now there for 80 years. So yes, there are occasional, you will get occasional fire in batteries, but very, very occasional. Today it's safe. I've been driving electric vehicles for 8 to 10 years without any fear.
And
that's all it is.
And what sort of infrastructure do you think the Tamil Nadu needs with respect to EV vehicles?
I think only the charger infrastructure. That's all. Like the rest is ready. Yeah, quick question.
Follow-up question. I would like to request you for a comment on the risk of obsolescence in this in the industry, because we keep hearing about completely new anode materials, new cathode materials, silicon anode, fluoride. Now, when I built a completely
I
new
think battery lives are 5 years. I'm not worried. I think any new material, etc., will take longer time to longer time to. I don't think that. I think that obsolescence is not an issue. We'll keep changing battery will keep evolving. The original battery, today even when we use NMC, we are starting to use 811, and we are using the anodes with silica. So those things will keep happening. In fact, we don't even know that's happening. A user will not know. Louder, not hear you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Compared to foreign.
Sorry, repeat the question.
Okay. How are the people welcoming the EV
my feeling is in 7-8 years, you will see practically no new petrol vehicle. It will be completely electric. Why will it benefit? In the end, it will cost us less. And it will be safer and nicer vehicles, will not pollute that, and we will not require imported oil. All these will benefit.
But still, the people are being scared about getting EV vehicles because there are many new
I think the same, all these are myths propagated by petrol engine promoters. Frankly speaking, when petrol vehicle came in 1940s and 50s, they are far more dangerous than any electric vehicles.
Thank you, sir. In India, the percentage of growth is approximately 100%. So the registrations, total registrations are less, but they are growing. As I said, even China had accidents when they introduced it. So it could happen if you introduce it.
Yeah, but I think it's increasingly becoming safe and it will now accelerate. Next 5 to 7 years, we will see it. Show eye contact.
So we added in Denver and it's an amazing show. We've got about 45 exhibitors. We are expecting 2,000 people over a period of 2 days, which is today and tomorrow. We've got brilliant associates. We've got about 100 associations and sponsors that we've been working with. So it's very exhilarating and we request all of you if you could please go visit our stores as well, interact with those people. So it's been an amazing hours since morning. And yes, we are trying to promote 3 things to our effort. One is innovation, so we want to reward and recognize innovation which is happening throughout. You would see, even a wireless charging, is something which is in there, still not patented, but it exists. So still a prototype is going on. So technology like that. Second, we want to create a community and let them collaborate with each other. So there are very less platforms wherein people can share knowledge or share information which is coming from the right resource. And third is commerce. That is something like the lady was asking whether the EV acceptance rate is there in India or not, it's growing. But the commerce will happen only if a passenger, the one who's looking forward to drive a car, will buy that. So all this is actually for that he comes forward and accept EV vehicle as a culture. So that's a phenomenon that we are working towards. And that's the effort that we've done. Anything for sir?
Thank you. You can continue. I will.
Thank you, ma'am. Costume sellers will come and talk. So, we have to put that as a condition. Apart from that, we can see introduction of alternative markets along with the development of the electric vehicle market. In terms of pure numbers, now what we have found out, or in our analysis, what we see is in the year 2023, from Jan to December, the total sales was close to 80 to 85,000 electric vehicles, passenger cars, which is pure battery electric vehicles. What we are estimating in 2024 is that the sales will reach close to 120,000, 120 to 130,000 electric vehicles between Jan to December. Until now, until May, it was around 40 to 50,000 vehicles were sold so far. But by end of 24, we can expect the number to settle down around 125,000 units of electric vehicles. Tata will of course maintain the leadership in terms of market share of electric vehicles, and we see other OEMs, especially BYD, again making its way among the top. It's already there in the top 5, but we see some of the other OEMs as well. If we talk about the long-term scenario, we saw the previous presentations where we were talking about the electric vehicle penetration, especially passenger cars. According to the report, what we have found out is that the electric vehicle penetration will reach close to 10 to 15%. In the optimistic scenario, it will be between 15 to 20%. So again, talking about the 30% milestone that has been set by the government. In most of the cases in all the global markets, we have seen that any kind of official announcements, it's very difficult to achieve 100% of that. And in the historic period, we have seen, including China, it has only achieved about 50 to 60% of what was actually announced. And that's again, when we are talking about the practicality of the market. So, according to the numbers, we are estimating by 2030, the passenger cars, pure battery electrics, will be somewhere around 700,000 to 1.1 million units. by 2030, which will surpass the 10 to 10% penetration, and will be somewhere between 10 to 15% penetration by 2030. So that's for the numbers. Another point, which is the key pointers here, which was again presented earlier in other reports, is the localization of components. Currently, the localization of the electric vehicles, specifically passenger car, it is close to what we found out is close to 20 to 30%. But what we see in the future by 2030, what we are estimating is that 60 to 70% of localization would be achieved in terms of electric vehicle components. To talk about some of the key components, of course, battery will still remain one of the components on the vehicle, which would still be 50% localization, but the highest amount of localization would be achieved in components such as the AC charging inlet, the DC-DC converter, the BMS system, the traction motors and controllers. So some of the other important components would also reach about 60 to 70% localization when it comes to electric vehicles, which in turn will drive the prices down for electric vehicles. Now, other findings in terms of charging infrastructure, if we talk about charging infrastructure, another important aspect which supports the electric vehicle market. If you look at the current scenario, there are about officially 13,000 charging points which have been subsidized by the through the FAME 2 initiative. This number again not very large, but looking at the current EV park of electric vehicles, considering last 5 years from 2016 onwards, from 2018 onwards, there are about 350 to 400,000 electric vehicles on road currently operating. If you put all of them together. Now, if you look at the global ratio between location to connectors, so we see that currently in India there are about 3 to 4 connectors at a single location. So one charging station has an average of 2 to 3, 2 to 4 connectors. This average will go up in future. So we can say it would be the safer situation when we say one location hosting about 7 to 8 charging points, which would cater to one number of vehicles. And what we call the ideal scenario for calling it a robust charging infrastructure is one location or one charging connector serving a minimum of 5 to 6 electric vehicles. That's what we call an ideal scenario to call it a robust charging infrastructure. The global ratio right now, the global average in China is one charging point is serving around 10 to 12 electric vehicles that are there on road, and they are significantly decreasing it year on year. The global average is about 15 electric vehicles. One connector is serving about 15 electric vehicles, but of course they have to increase the speed of installation. And ideal scenario we could call between one connector serving about 5 to 8 electric vehicles. So that's the summary of the report. I think the summary would be available with the organizers. You can take a copy from them. And also the report will be available on our portal of Frost & Sullivan from next week onwards for download and purchase. With that, I would like to conclude the summary. Thank you.
So we request the delegates to stay back.